this is what the basketball guys wanted for us with these WNBA finals. Like all that nonsense that was going on Twitter with about this had no storylines, it was going to be boring, this that the whoop de whoop whoop whoop. Yo, if you really felt that way going into these finals, I'm gonna have to hit you with the John Morant, man. Stay on that side, man. Stay on that side because it took you no further than one game to be proven dead ass wrong. This WNBA finals is going to be so lit. Now, unfortunately, I honestly think the series might honestly be over, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. But what an amazing game one that was for the WNBA Finals, and a game that I thought was going to be a runaway for the New York Liberty. They had played amazing coming out the gate, scored 32 points in the first quarter. They were knocking down threes. Everybody was getting involved. Jonquel was on fire. Phoebe was knocking down shots. Breanna was knocking down threes. Stewie had found her 3-point shot. Sloot had probably the greatest basketball game I have ever seen her play in my couple years of watching, full length WNBA seasons. It was just like the script was honestly set up for the New York Liberty to just take this game and we'll just move on to the next game. But the Lynx said fuck a script. They said fuck a script, fuck what the norm is, fuck what we're supposed to be doing right now in this moment. We're going to shock the world. And it got to a point, honestly, where I was worried that they were going to put all their effort into winning this game and ultimately fall flat, and I was going to just zap them for the rest of the series. But like I said, man, after tonight's game, I think that the series just might honestly be wraps. So let's get into it, man. Leave a like, leave a comment, all that good YouTube stuff, man. It's your boy J Paul. I ain't doing the intro because I'm just ready to go ahead and talk about this game. Let's get into it. So game one of the WNBA Finals in Barclays Center in Brooklyn, man. We ended with the final score of, I forgot what the final score was, but I know it was like a 2-point game. It was a 2-point game. Lynx win the game in overtime after battling back from down 18. So we'll talk about it from the losing side first because I have a lot I got to say about the Liberty right now, man. What a collapse. Like when they were going through, their struggle in the fourth quarter, like I really wasn't considering that to be a choke job because I thought that Minnesota's just defense had really clamped down and that they really had just made it almost impossible for New York to get into anything. You know what I'm saying? Everything that was working for them through the first 3 quarters of the game was not working for them through the second half of the fourth quarter and basically the first half of the overtime. Like Minnesota had definitely just like instilled their game into that game one of the finals. Like Minnesota's a team that I said yesterday, they're very physical, they're very good defensive, like they want to be free form, they want to be knocking down threes, they want to just play a free flowing style of basketball. And through 3 quarters, they didn't do that. You know what I'm saying? The Liberty did a great job of, imposing their will. You know what I'm saying? Feed didn't really get off to a crazy start. Nobody was really getting off. Minnesota was taking a lot of tough shots. Like, it was a true testament to, the Liberty's defense. Like, they weren't 1 or 2 for defense, they weren't first or second, in the league in defense, but, they were also one of the top defensive teams. They have a lot of length, and they showed that in that first half, Jonquel Jones and Phoebus really proved to be the X factors that I thought they were going to be going into the series because when they built that big lead up, it was on really the heels of Jonquel Jones carrying them, just being, the 6'6" beast that she is in the paint. Like, there was nothing that Minnesota could do to stop her through many portions of this game. She would just catch the ball on the post. She would just, quick turn. She was really breaking out her footwork. When she gets a three ball to go, she's really due for a big game. Like, I think that up until this point, the Liberty were, I think, undefeated, or they had, they had lost maybe 1 or 2 games when Jonquel Jones had got a double-double. And for her to come out and have 24 points and 10 rebounds, like, this was clearly her best game against the Lynx the entire season. She really just feasted in the paint. She was an absolute beast, dominating things down there. Phoebus, like I said, her and her versatility on the defensive end, her being a 6'4" wing, she was amazing. She knocked down, I think it was 3 or 4 3-point shots. I think she got into a little bit of foul trouble down the stretch of the game, so that's why we saw a lot more Sloot. But it was just great from the X Factors position. Stewie and Breanna, they had solid games. Stewie finishes with 18 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists. We're going to talk about Stewie a lot in a couple minutes. Breanna UNESCO, she is 19 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, so not really much of a playmaker like how she typically is. I know her shooting percentage was terrible. I think that she missed I think she took 26 shots. She might have made 10 of them, so it just wasn't crazy efficient. Like, not a great game from the New York Liberty Stars, but up until 3 quarters, you thought it was going to be enough. But let's talk about, I guess, what fell apart for them, man. So what fell apart for them is the fact that, for one, Minnesota's defense got absolutely locked down, absolutely stifling. There was nothing that the Liberty could do. They couldn't run their sets. They weren't able to get the open threes they were getting in the first half, and they really like it made them take a step back. And I think that wasn't something that they were prepared to do in this game because of the way how they were dominating it through the beginning portion of the game. And then for Minnesota to, give them that punch in the chest, I think it took them up until the halfway point of the overtime to honestly even understand what was happening to them. Sabrina wasn't herself, Stewie wasn't herself. They were turning the ball over left and right, missing wide open layups at the rim. Jonquel had a couple of bunnies at the rim. Stewie had a couple of bunnies at the rim that you see them knock down, time and time again. But they were just so, taken aback by what was happening to them with Minnesota defensively, and it honestly just opened the door for Minnesota to storm through and take the lead. Like I said, down the stretch of the game, Stewie tried to, take it upon herself to really stop the team from what is probably going to go down as one of the worst losses in their entire franchise history. For them to lose that game, like I said in the beginning, this is a game that I feel like Minnesota was supposed to lose. You know what I'm saying? Minnesota had just came off playing against Connecticut in Game 5 just 2 days ago. They had really no legs on them. You saw that in the beginning of the game. They weren't able to get any shots to fall. They were falling short on a lot of the shots, and New York was able to just run them dry. And I feel like Minnesota had a strategy going into the game that they wanted to really just keep the game in striking position. Even when the game got to 18, they were like, hey, we still have enough time for us that if we were able to lock down and do what it is that we do every single night to people, we have a good chance of getting back into this game. That's exactly what they did. And the Liberty looked to Stewie to come through and to be the two-time MVP that she is, and to take them home and capture this win and take this the first game of the series. And it just didn't happen like that. Breanna Stewart, I gotta be frank, man. She choked. She really let the team down. There was various times where she had an opportunity to win this game or to continue the game, and she just wasn't able to get it done. You know what I'm saying? Nafisa Collier held her to 1 of 9 shooting from the field, so Fee definitely won that matchup, I would say. Fee had an opportunity, Stewie had an opportunity down the stretch of the game when she got fouled by Nafisa Collier. Really, Fee's only defensive mistake, really probably the entire game, and it gave the opportunity for Stewie to knock down the free throw. And I was in here watching the game with my girlfriend, and my girlfriend is like, she doesn't watch basketball as much as I do, so she's over here nervous, like, oh, is Stewie gonna knock down the shot? Because she's a Liberty fan. Sabrina's her favorite player. She wants the Liberty to win, so she's over here nervous. And in my head, I didn't have the heart to tell her. I'm like, yo, Stewie's about to smoke one of these free throws. I just had the feeling, because it's like, I just don't feel like Breanna Stewart is built for these moments. I understand that she's a 2-time champion, 2-time MVP, 2-time Finals MVP, but from what I've seen watching Breanna Stewart through these 2 years that she's been in New York, she doesn't have that clutch gene down the stretch. You know what I'm saying? I've seen her hit big shots against the Washington Mystic, big shots in games that, don't really have major, implications. But when it comes to that matchup of you versus another team's best player, I personally haven't seen Breanna Stewart be the player that I know the Liberty need her to be, and that she's going to have to be if they want to win this series. Her scoring 19 points and her allowing a team to go to, give up an 18-2 run, to even take the game to overtime. And then in overtime, she gets the opportunity to tie the game down the stretch, and the shot really had no shot. The shot had no chance in hell. You know what I'm saying? She put it up, tried a reverse layup, it smacked the backboard, game over. And it's just like, wow, what a way to lose the game. Like they crumbled. The entire team just crumbled. There's no way to sugarcoat it. There's no way to beat around the bush. The team just fell apart, and now they have to regroup. And now game 2 is a must win for them. If they lose game 2, the series is over. Now, me personally, I think the series is already over because I already had Minnesota winning in 4 games. But I knew that they had to win one of these first 2 games. And like I said, this is a game that I was okay with them losing because they just came off the Connecticut game. But for them to come through and win this game, now game 2 is free. It's free money. It's free money for the Lynx. But it's a must win for the New York Liberty. So they got to regroup, and I'm rooting for you, Liberty, but I'm not too confident. I ain't gonna lie to you. Let's talk about the Minnesota Lynx, man. What a team they are, man. Just what they're able to do on the defensive end of the floor is like something that as a true basketball fan, you just appreciate watching. You know what I'm saying? You love watching great basketball. You know, the way how they play on the offensive end, with them moving the ball around, with them being so free flowing and knocking down threes, and everybody's, you know what I'm saying, careless and gives it up, passes up a good shot for a great shot. And then on the defensive end, what this team does, you know, together, you know what I'm saying, being able to just lock down teams and just really just like really make championship level teams look disoriented, look like they don't know how to play basketball. Like we've seen it in Game 5 of Connecticut. Connecticut at times was just so discombobulated with what Minnesota was doing. Like it looked like their heads were literally spinning. And down the stretch of this game with the Liberty, it was the same thing. The Lynx had New York's head just spinning. They did not know how to retaliate. They did not know how to respond. They did not know what they needed to do to, you know, close out this game. And I have to give the ultimate credit to Napheesa Collier, who I am coining is the best player in women's basketball. I understand A'ja Wilson is an amazing player. She's, you know what I'm saying, also a great two-way player. But I haven't even seen A'ja take over a game the way how Fee has did today. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, this is only my second year watching full seasons of basketball. So A'ja may very well have done it, but I didn't see it. But Fee coming out here and having 21 points, 8 rebounds, 6 blocks, and 3 steals. That is the definition of getting it done on both ends of the floor. And her 21 points was not like her getting a big hot streak in the third quarter. They were pivotal buckets down the stretch in the fourth quarter, in overtime. And I actually had a bet that she was going to score under 21 points for this game. And the shot that she made that cost me the bet was the shot that ultimately won the game for Minnesota. And I couldn't even be mad at her. I could not even be mad at her because the way how she guarded Breanna Stewart, the way how she helped in guarding Jonquel Jones, the way how she helped in guarding Sabrina Ionescu, it was honestly just amazing to watch. You know what I'm saying? If you're not a fan of Fee going into the game, you have to be a fan of Fee coming out of the game, because it's not every day that you see a player dominate an entire side of the floor like that against a championship level team. And, you know, for her to hit her to be the one to hit the shot, you know, and just it just proves. Like, I think I saw a tweet that said that I think Cheryl Reeve said that Napheesa Collier is the most marketable superstar in the WNBA, and she just might be right. She just might be right. Fee is a sweetheart. Everybody loves her story with her having the baby and coming back. And now she's, you know what I'm saying, arguably the first or second best player in the entire league. 2 games away from her first championship. The defensive player of the year. I would just say inarguably now the best defensive player on the court, because she can also do score. She can also defend on the perimeter as well as in the paint. So she's just amazing. She is great. Napheesa Collier, you have made a forever fan out of me. I was already a forever fan going into the series, like just what you've done over the course of the season. But yeah, Fee's absolutely incredible. Another player who's absolutely just incredible is Courtney Williams. Like, Courtney Williams is, over the last, really, 4 games now, the last 3 games of the Connecticut series, in this first game, she has just really blowing me away with her shot making and just the shots that she hit down the stretch of this game in the overtime, just taking ISO drives to the basket, single-handedly giving them a 2 possession lead down the stretch in the fourth quarter for her to knock down that 3-point shot and take the foul from Sabrina Ionescu. And in that moment, Sabrina, you cannot make that foul. Sabrina Ionescu, I got to be honest with you, down the stretch, you had a couple of just the Liberty as a whole just had a couple of blunders and just a couple of really bad decisions that I did not understand. Like, for example, why do we have Jonquel Jones taking the ball out at the end of regulation? You know, they had Jonquel Jones take the ball out 2 times because they couldn't even get it in the first time. They had Jonquel take the ball out 2 times, and it ended up resulting in a jump ball, which, you know, ultimately ended up resulting in a foul. Just very, very questionable decisions. Sabrina fouling Courtney Williams in that moment, like, that is just basketball 1-on-1, man. You're down by 3. By no means can you foul. You wouldn't give a hard contest. If she hits an amazing shot over you without fouling, you'll take that. But Sabrina clearly fouled her. Like, she had no chance in hell blocking the shot, but catches her right on the wrist. And Courtney Williams, being the amazing shot maker that she is, she knocks it down. And that just will take a soul out of a team, man. That'll take a soul out of a team. Kayla McBride came and she gave you 22 points. The entire Minnesota team, man, absolutely blew me away today, which with their resilience, how they were able to bounce back in this game. And it's time to have some tough conversations for real. It's time to have some real tough conversations about who the real best player in basketball is, what it actually means to be the best player in basketball. Because to me, it's being a two-way player. It's being able to dominate the game as a whole, and it's winning. And that's what Nafisa Collier has done this year better than anybody else in basketball. And we got to just go ahead and give her flowers for it. For game two, man, the tools of game two. I think that it's tough to really, if you're the Liberty, to go out here and say that we need to really change a whole bunch of things, because we built an 18-point lead. We did everything that we wanted to do. We got Jonquel involved. Jonquel had the double-double, so, we wanted to keep that streak alive of winning. Phoebich was great. I guess Breanna Stewart, you want them to be a little bit more efficient, but you really can't ask too much more if you're the Liberty. So you really just have to repeat the same exact thing that you just did, and you have to close the job. You know what I'm saying? Down the stretch, I think it's going to come down to your stars being stars, and I think in tonight's game, Sabrina and Stewie were not ready to be stars. And that's just plain and simple, man. For the Minnesota Lynx, like, at this point, you're playing with house money when it comes to game two. It's not a must win, but it basically, if you do win this game, the series is over. If Minnesota wants to go for the kill shot in this game, it's going to take just, I think, a big 3-point shooting game from them. I don't think they knocked down a bunch of threes this game. They also have to box out way better. I think that New York ended up shooting 18 more shots than them. I think they had almost 20 offensive rebounds. It was just a clear mismatch on the backboard. But going into the series, like, we all expected that. Like, I always say, Minnesota doesn't really have a true center. They just play great, fantastic team defense. But yeah, if they're gonna have to get on the backboard, they're gonna have to rebound. And last but not least, man, like, they just have to. They had their big three has to be a big three. Caleb McBride, Courtney Williams, Nafisa Collier. They have to be great, and they have to just keep. You know what I'm saying? They got some great minutes today from Natisha Hines, Maisha Hines Allen. They got some great minutes from Natisha Heidemann, and they're gonna need that. They're probably gonna want to get Bridget Carlton involved more. Make sure that Alana Smith is okay, because she had a little bit of an ankle injury there at one point in the game, and just. Yeah, man, Lynx have a chance for a kill shot, but game two for the Liberty is a must win. And that's all I got for this one, man. Make sure you guys leave a like, leave a comment. Let me know what you guys thought about that amazing game one. Let me know what you guys think that means for the rest of the series. And I'll holler at you guys in the next video, man. Peace and love, family. Deuces.